The goal for me this year, I think, is to get to this kind of finesse and love and detail of the game, you know. So the engine was rewritten for 2 years leading up to FIFA 07 on the 360. And there was a lot of things that we did well, so I think the separation of the ball physics and the player, but then a lot of it was just about foundation. So it's really taking it to this level, and if it's about maybe everything, I think that sums it up. Well, the biggest team that we're getting this year is, of course, Leeds United. So we are back on the next gen team. So yeah, last year we only had the 6 leagues, and this year, as well as adding the Championship, what Leeds were in, and then Division 1 that we are now going into, we've taken all the content from current gen, so that's about 27 leagues, plus we're going to add 3 more leagues, so that gives us 30 leagues, 620 teams, 15,000 players. So the idea behind Be A Pro is to play as a single player. So, you know, we kind of challenge ourselves to try and reinvent football and to innovate. At the same time, we hear consumers, they want to do this 11v11 online, and then we hear it in your reviews as well. And yeah, so this is the first step there. So you imagine, people have always played video games as the team, you know, and it's pretty much always focused as the team. And then, now we need to create challenges around being a defender. So what do you do when you're not, you know, when you're not on the ball? How do you get rewarded or penalized for not defending space, for not man marking people, or you know, rewarded for pulling someone out of space? So we've been working on all these systems on an offline mode we call Be A Pro. As well as that, there's this new camera system. So you saw the arena last year. It's taking that into gameplay. And the fundamental that's trying to do is frame you, the player, and the ball and the goal. So if you're away from the action, it'd be very, you know, far out and wide angled. But if you're running in, sprinting onto the goal, we do this kind of chase cam, or like some guys call it Gears of War cam, where it's coming in right behind the player and really kind of makes you feel like you're in their shoes. Yeah, so we've done this new system. So we kind of learned with the guys who took they took our animation system into NBA Street, and they did this what they call state flow system. So we're taking this back. So we've got this organic system now. So it starts off with simple step overs and fakes, and then it builds that into a much more organic system. So you start with very simple things. You can knock the ball into space, drop in and out of the skill moves, and then do the more elaborate things like the flip-flop or the rainbow kick, and then break into a volley. So it's on current gen it was very staged because it had to finish the animation before it could go into something else. But this new system allows you to flow between animations and be much more organic and responsive. You know, I mean, if you think Ronaldinho picks up the ball, he comes one-on-one with a defender, you know, he kind of traps the ball, he does a fake one way, does a fake the other one, knocks it into space, sprints with the ball, comes down, and then he does his signature flip-flop move, breaks in, runs on goal, does a rainbow kick, and then volleys it into the top corner. It's easy. You know, we have a big gameplay vision, you know, and the gameplay guys have been, you know, they have a big list of everything they want to do and a way of prioritizing that. So the shooting system last year was only taking a few things into the context system. So it was only looking at the player attributes and a few other systems. What we're doing now is we're taking all the complexity we had on current gen, so the ball speed, the ball momentum, and then adding new things, so like whether the balls just bounce, whether there's a player coming down on you, whether you've just turned and you're wrong-footed, and that goes into a system that then calculates error in a new way. So the way error was done before in football video games from shots was directional error. So, you know, if you wanted to say, okay, he's hitting the ball, it would just shoot it more almost a straight line. What we're doing now is it slightly hits the ball off center, so that creates a kind of spin. And if you think the way aerodynamics works on the ball is above a certain velocity, the ball moves straight, even though it's spinning. And then as it slows down, then the air resistance kicks in, and that's when you see these balls that go straight and then they kind of curve in. So we're working at this kind of level, and also a sort of backspin as well. So the ball hangs in the air, it's a little bit longer, and then you see these balls that just drop in. So you get all this emotion of, is the ball going to go in? You know, is it going to go in the ball? Is it going to just drop under the crossbar or not? Yeah, I mean, I think what you've got to do is you've got to learn the sense of composure. So, you know, Steven Gerrard, if you think about when he does his, you know, his real crackers, he's got to find himself, he's got to get himself into space, you know, and then he gets the ball in, he's got a moment to really wind up the shot and then crack it in, or hit it, even when he's in volley. So he's got that sense of composure. So you've got to do this, you've got to be smart about the space, and then this the idea of composure on the pad. So the bar will move up much faster, especially if you're off balance, and then it's just a matter of getting that just nailing that feel. This is Joe Booth live on IGN. FIFA is going to be in the stores the beginning of fall on PS3 and 360.